Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a murder trial is set to start Monday in Matagorda County, 4 years after the crime. A look at the reasons for the prolonged legal process. Plus, President Trump offers a rosy assessment of the nation's economy after the worst stock market drop in years. And extreme rainfall brings potentially deadly flooding to parts of central U.S. already slammed by storms.
Well, so far, all we have to deal with are the winds. However, there you see Victoria, there you see I-10. In northeast Texas, some big stuff is happening tonight. This is going to be part of that thing that swings through our area and possibly gives us a couple thunder showers. We'll be taking a look at that in just a few minutes.
And the Lavaca County community is gathering for the 3rd annual Lavaca River cleanup in downtown Hallettsville. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shawna Currie. A long-awaited murder trial is set to begin Monday in Matagorda County. On April 16, 2021, Amanda Johnson was reported missing from Victoria. The next day, she was found murdered in a burned vehicle on a rural Matagorda County road. A grand jury indicted the suspect in her case, Fernando Acosta Jr., on June 21, 2021. A few weeks later, in July, a judge denied his request for a bond reduction. Several trial dates were reset, including one in November 2023, one in February 2024, and in May 2024. Now the trial is expected to start Monday with jury selection. 25 News Now anchor Carolina Estrain takes a look at the reasons for the prolonged legal process.
Amanda Johnson was a mother of 2 children and a beloved member of the fitness community in Victoria. Her body was found in a charred vehicle in Matagorda County in April of 2021. Due to the complexity of the investigation and the involvement of multiple agencies, including the Texas Rangers, the Victoria Police Department, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and Matagorda County, evidence continued to be introduced to the case throughout the last 4 years between her murder and now. In July of last year, the defense attorney for Fernando Colin Acosta Jr., the main suspect in the case, sought a motion to exclude some pieces of evidence from the trial. About a month later, Judge Denise Fortenberry, who oversees the 130th Judicial District Court, denied the defense attorney's request. Jury selection starts Monday for the trial. Carolina Estrain, 25 News Now, KAVU TV.
Communities across the central U.S. are getting hit with another round of extreme weather. After back-to-back tornado outbreaks Wednesday and Thursday, those same areas are now dealing with heavy rain and dangerous flooding. The National Weather Service is warning of severe weather stretching from the Ohio Valley to the Mississippi Valley, with the biggest impact expected in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. In places like Nashville, folks who were sheltering from tornadoes just days ago are now facing flooded roads, and it's expected to get worse through the weekend.
Tornado came through and just plowed about everything in its path.
That's my home, so that was very devastating, and to see the roof off.
We was hoping it missed our house, but as soon as we drove up, we realized we have nothing left.
This is from the same system that forced the National Weather Service to issue nearly 300 tornado warnings across 15 states since Wednesday morning. Windy and a slight chance of rain here in the Crossroads, but thankfully nothing severe like what they're seeing in the middle part of the country will be here in the Crossroads. Let's go to Mac Perez for our first look at our Friday night and weekend forecast. Mac.
No, we're going to be pretty fortunate that we may have a few thunder showers rolling around the area, but nothing like what they're having up there. A very windy afternoon. It's going to be blustery all night long, but tomorrow this front is going to start to move, and when it moves down through here about Saturday afternoon, that's when we have the best chance of getting some shower activity. Tonight, all the stuff is from northeast Texas all the way into the Mississippi Valley. This one is actually going to bring us some cooler weather by Sunday, and I'll have more details on that coming up in a moment.
The Lavaca County community is invited to join the 3rd annual Lavaca River cleanup. It's scheduled for tomorrow in downtown Hallettsville. Things kick off at 8 a.m. with volunteers splitting into 2 teams to tackle trash and leave the river looking better than ever. This annual cleanup aims to improve the Lavaca River's condition and promote environmental awareness. A South Texas county will lose some authority over the beach near the SpaceX launch site. if a bill approved by the state Senate Thursday becomes a law. To read the full Texas Tribune article, visit crossroadstoday.com. President Trump is pressing pause on enforcing the TikTok ban for now. He has extended the deadline by 75 days while his team works on a deal to keep the app available in the U.S. The move comes ahead of the April 5th deadline, which was set under a law signed by President Biden last year. That law requires TikTok's China-based parent company to sell the app or face a ban. Trump also hinted he may lower tariffs on China if a deal comes through. Today, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said higher tariffs will likely raise inflation in the coming months. We've already seen the stock market react, tumbling following President Trump's announcement. The administration is adamant the pain will be temporary and worth it. ABC's Christiane Cordero has the latest from Washington.
2 back-to-back days of dramatic drops on Wall Street. Today, the Dow Jones again fell more than 1,000 points at the open. At one point, it dropped more than 2,000 points as the sell-off worsened. It's been the steepest drop in the stock market since the early days of COVID-19. President Trump's tariffs triggering trillions of dollars in losses in Americans' retirement accounts and corporate bottom lines. The trade war escalated today with China announcing new 34% retaliatory tariffs on all U.S. imports. Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking today for the first time since President Trump's tariff announcements.
It is now becoming clear that tariff increases will be significantly larger than expected. And the same is likely to be true of the economic effects, which will include higher inflation and slower growth.
Trump on social media today pressured the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates, accusing Powell of playing politics, while Democrats slammed Trump's policies on the Senate floor, calling out, among other things, the tariffs Trump imposed on a remote island off of Antarctica, inhabited mostly by penguins.
It is unclear to me if the White House even knows what they are doing. They literally put a 10% tariff on a bunch of penguins.
The administration vows the disruption will be temporary and worth it.
The president rightly has concluded that the current status of global trade is bad for America and good for a bunch of other people, and he's going to reset it.
Trump today is at Mar-a-Lago. He and his allies are betting these policies will set the framework for a boom in American manufacturing. The question, how long will that take?
It may take years for that manufacturing to come back home, but in the meantime, consumers face higher costs.
In light of the tariffs, J.P. Morgan's chief economist has increased the risk of the U.S. falling into a recession to 60%, meaning they believe it is now more likely than not we will be in a recession by the end of the year. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
This brings us to our viewer poll today. How confident are you about the U.S. stock market in the next 6 months? Very confident, somewhat confident, or not confident? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote or scan the QR code there at the top of your screen to let us know. And just slightly leaning on the not confident side, not quite there in the middle either. Looks like now it's just gone back to neutral. So, we want to know what you think. Continue voting and we'll have the latest results at 6. Well, meanwhile, China is hitting back after President Trump upped the pressure in the ongoing trade war. In response to new U.S. tariffs, China says it'll slap a 34% tariff on all American imports starting April 10th. They've also added 11 U.S. companies, including drone makers, to their unreliable entities list and are tightening export controls on 16 others. This response is a lot tougher than previous ones, which had mostly focused on things like ag products and fuel. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our news on our YouTube channel. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 5, the Houston Cougars are gearing up to take on the Duke Blue Devils in the Final Four. We will go to San Antonio with all of the pregame action. Plus, a local historian's book on South Texas ranch life is earning national honors. We'll hear her inspiration behind it.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads. We hear from a VISD board candidate, the City of Victoria. We learn about electric vehicles and car seat safety.
On proper car seat usage, and so the goal is to help educate to ensure the safety of those children. So we will have members from the City of Victoria Municipal Court there. We will have Victoria police officers there and other technicians in the community coming out to this event to help ensure those traveling safely.
Heads up if your Final Four snack recipes contain Texas Pete hot sauce. 2 of their hot sauces have been recalled over labeling mix-ups. Some habanero buffalo sauce bottles may actually contain sriracha, which includes sulfites not listed on the label, which are dangerous for anyone with allergies. The sweet habanero sauce also left out aged peppers on its label. The sauces were shipped to 10 states between February and March. If you've got one, toss it or take it back to the store for a refund. The Houston Cougars are preparing to face the Duke Blue Devils in the Final Four in San Antonio. 25 News Now sports director Max Williams is at the Alamo Dome for this weekend's event. Earlier today, Max attended the pregame press conference and caught up with Houston players Joseph Tugler and Milos Uzan.
You guard me. If you don't go try to go block the shot, he opened up for me. Or you gonna box me up? You know, I got just read how they play and how they start the game.
They're definitely different. They both have shooters on the floor, so they're able to spread the floor out. Yeah, they're a little different though.
Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, Max will talk about what the Cougars will need to do to bring home that championship. A local author is being recognized for her literary work by the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma. 25 News Now Sunrise anchor Carolina Estrain sat down with Louise O'Connor to talk about her extensive work on her book, Cryin' for Daylight.
Yes, I'm now joined by Louise S. O'Connor here to talk to us about a special recognition for her work on Cryin' for Daylight. It's a history book about the South Texas ranching industry and a family legacy. Can you talk to us about it?
Well, it's actual and oral history through the voices and of the cowhands, the ranchers, the cooks, the camp cooks, everyone that worked on the ranches.
How many?
The women, the men, you know.
About how many interviews did you do for this project?
I think there were as close to 350 maybe.
Oh, wow, 350 interviews.
It wound up being 800 hours of taped interviews edited down.
And the inspiration for this book, it came out of a conversation with your father?
No, it came out of a conversation with an old ranch hand, a retired ranch hand. And I went to talk to him about my grandfather. I wanted to do a little piece on my grandfather. And when he got through with me that day, it was, the rest was 20 years of our lives.
Yeah.
Several of us. And of course, they were so incredible that we just walk in the mornings and beg them to let us go home at night because they were dying to tell their stories. You know.
And you also took photographs.
Yes, we did. After oh, I don't know, we probably talked for 3 or 4 years until everybody really got used to each other. And then out came the cameras.
It's like a documentary.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, I'm a big fan, admirer. I got to check the book out a couple of weeks for the last week or so, and it's just exciting to know that we have such rich Texas history here in our own backyard.
Well, and it was a history that was not being recorded. It was going by the wayside. It was it was a dying culture. Ranching really is a dying culture here, and I just caught it in time, actually. We really, by the time we started photographing, even interviewing and photographing, we were starting to lose them, just one after another, because they were in their 80s.
It's an important legacy to preserve.
Yeah, and they were so easy to work with. I mean, this award needs to go to them. They taught us how to interview them and talk to them and where to go and how to tell the truth about them the way they wanted it told.
Well, it is being recognized now by the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma, which you'll be headed to in a couple of days. It's exciting to get this recognition.
Yeah, it is.
How did you feel when you first found out?
Well, it was like, I always go back to, this is not about me. It is about the people that I worked with. I mean, they taught us how to interview them. They told us their stories. We sat and listened. I mean, you'd catch a little something to ask them, But mainly, by the time we'd worked with them for a few months, they came in and taught us how to interview them and how they were going to tell their story. Gave it to us, and made us sound good. While we basically just sat there and wrote frantically as they talked.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and
you are most welcome. Thank you for asking me.
Yes, congratulations on your upcoming award. You'll have to send us photos.
We will do that for sure.
All right.
Sure.
Well, we'll pass it back to y'all in the studio.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Gusty winds over the crossroads, but just to the north of us, we got some nasty weather in northeast Texas. Some of this stuff may get closer to our area, so we're going to have to watch it and talk about where it's going to be over the weekend, because they may be warm today, but it's going to be cool by Sunday. All that coming up in a moment.
I'm Sports Director Max Williams. I'm hitting the road to San Antonio for the Mets Final Four. This is where legends are made. Buzzer beaters, the Cinderella stories, and moments we'll be talking about for years. I'll be courtside, in the locker rooms, and behind the scenes for exclusive access. It's the Final Four. It doesn't get any bigger than this. Let's go!
Stay locked in right here on 25 News Now. Also available anytime on the Crossroads Today Plus app.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. 82 degrees right about now. Our winds have been howling pretty much all day long. Right now, they're sustained at 23, but they've been getting up to the 35 to 36 mile an hour range earlier in the afternoon. Our high today was 84, the low this morning 76. It's not exactly a cool overnight low temperature, right? Well, things are going to be changing over the weekend. Lots of stuff moving around. First of all, we have no shower activity around the crossroads, but look at this. This is I-10. You see it right there. And you can see north of Conroe, we are beginning to pick up some shower activity. Now, that's fairly light. The really bad stuff is up here north of Tyler, if you know the neighborhood, all the way Upshur County, Van Zandt County. We've got some nasty storms rolling through that area. Earlier today in Holly Ranch Lake, I believe there was a tornado that touched down. We're basically waiting for the information to come in, but it has been rough out there. And of course, this is all part of that monster storm that's rolling through the east. Now, we have wind advisories up for us through tomorrow, and even though the winds are shifting to the northwest, it'll still be on the breezy side. But you can see right here from Conroe, Bryan, all of these counties are under a tornado warning for tonight. And of course, the worst stuff right now is way up here in northeast Texas. So been a very traditional kind of weather pattern, folks, because this is almost expected every springtime when the cold air is sort of being pushed away by the warm air, and they're battling for control here. But tornado warnings from north of basically College Station all the way up into Memphis, where they're getting the stormy weather tonight, and this is their third day up there. So the wind advisories are up. We are now looking for the frontal system to actually begin to move overnight, courtesy of this. This is the cold pocket of air that's going to start rolling eastbound, and that's going to force that frontal system to actually pass our area. Should be through Saturday, middle of the day. You'll notice when the winds go from southeast to northwest, and all of a sudden then it starts getting cooler around here, because we're actually looking at a cooling trend for the next few days. Now, here's the bad stuff. Here's the severe weather for tonight, which is exactly where it's happening. But all of this area could pick up some sort of thunderstorm activity. And then we take a look at tomorrow. This is Saturday. Notice how we're getting close, okay? Not exactly in the middle of it, but we're getting to the possibility of getting some storms rolling around the area. And this would be Saturday morning until about noontime. Then the evening should clear up very nicely, as by Sunday you can see how everything pulls away. So we are looking at, of course, the concern is, how much rain we will get. I'm going to call it isolated thunder showers, but I don't think everybody is going to see rain. Here is where we expect the heaviest activity tonight, and then tomorrow as that rolls away, you saw how we even have that possibility of snow in Amarillo. I mean, the Red Raiders may actually get some snow showers tomorrow or later tonight. Interesting. There you go with your 7-day forecast. First of all, for those of you in Port Lavaca looking for some showers early, then cloudy and clearing for the rest of the day. Notice how we start off with southerly winds and then end up with northerly winds by the end of the day. So we start off with the rain chance will be early, and then by late in the day, it all blows away. As a matter of fact, Sunday, it's going to be beautiful. Look at this. By Sunday will be windy and 66 as a high temperature, going from 86 or 84 today to 66 on Sunday. Frontal system comes through about middle of the day, and then the rest of the week is just delightful with sunny skies, cool temperatures for at least 3 days, and I think you're going to enjoy it, because it could be the last cool temperatures we see for a while. That's your 7-day forecast. We do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, and we'll toss it over to Shawna.
All right, looking forward to the cooler temperatures for sure. Still to come, fewer Americans are filing taxes on time this year, and the IRS is feeling the pressure. Another painful day on Wall Street after China retaliated against the U.S. by imposing 34% tariffs on U.S. goods. That move triggered a sell-off as analysts fear we could be headed to a recession. The Dow plunged more than 2,200 points, the S&P 500 lost more than 300 points, and the NASDAQ lost more than 900 points. Oil is down $4.63 to $61.99 per barrel. The U.S. job market did better than expected last month. Today, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported 228,000 positions were added in March. Many economists had forecasted job growth was going to drop to 130,000. Analysts say things could change soon, citing recent economic data that predicts layoffs and overall uncertainty could rise due to recent policy changes by the Trump administration. The unemployment rate did increase 1/10 of a point in March, rising to 4.2%. That April 15th tax deadline is creeping up ever so close, and so far, fewer people have filed their federal taxes compared to this time last year. The IRS has also seen a bump in extension requests. As of March 21st, nearly 1 million fewer returns had come in. Experts say that drop isn't super unusual, but it's getting attention this year because of worries about lower revenue collection and some shakeups behind the scenes, like leadership changes and tensions with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Well, a heads up, today is the last day to snag those $2 Mega Millions tickets. Starting after tonight's drawing, tickets will jump to $5. The good news, though, they will come with a built-in multiplier to boost non-jackpot prizes, which are also getting a bump. The starting jackpot will jump to $50 million, more than double what it is now, and officials say your overall odds of winning something will actually improve. The new version of the game kicks off on Tuesday. Stay with us. Coming up, how sweet it is to live sky high, why this skinny skyscraper is turning heads and emptying wallets.
President Trump's trade war rocking U.S. and global markets, tariffs already affecting American workers, plus the deadly storms, tornadoes, and historic flooding. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Get ready for the madness. Think you know college hoops? Prove it. Enter the Final Four Frenzy presented by Coastal Bend College. Put your bracket up against sports director Max Williams and weekend sports reporter Ray Robinson. Dribble on over to crossroadstoday.com to enter on the contest page. Win it all and score a family 4-pack with a hotel stay and a round of golf for 2 at Moody Gardens in Galveston. The Final Four Frenzy presented by Coastal Bend College. Brackets lock soon. Enter now.
Would you want to live in the world's skinniest skyscraper? Well, for a cool $110 million, you can. The penthouse is in Manhattan's Steinway Tower, right on Billionaires Row, with views of Central Park. This 4-story, 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom quadplex also comes with 2 terraces and 360-degree views of the Big Apple. Oh, and did we mention it's also one of the tallest and slimmest skyscrapers in the Western Hemisphere? Height to width ratio of 24:1. So definitely got some style. I'm sure some great views.
Well, first of all, I don't have $100 million. Second of all, what happens when the wind blows, you know?
Yeah.
How sturdy is that thing? When they built the Sears Tower in Chicago, we always, oh, well, it's got trussing and stressed. But how skinny is this thing? Too skinny for me.
Yes.
Anyway, we've got, of course, some wind problems overnight and in the morning. But in the morning, we also have a chance of getting a couple of thunder showers rolling through the area. By Saturday afternoon, it all clears up, it all goes away, and it gets cooler by the time we get to Sunday.
All right, looks like a pretty good weekend. So, all right, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 6 right after World News Now with David Muir.